Okay. Now this is my first time actually doing this. Got a mic. I had a microphone before. I might as well use it. I figured, and I haven't uploaded stuff to YouTube related to my own personal stuff, basically, or whatever. You'll see on this channel, it'll be unedited stuff, unrehearsed stuff, and unedited, of course. I won't have a script or anything like that. And if I make a mistake, you're not going to see me stop and then like try to splice them up together. Basically, it's more of a case where like this is just purely me talking. And by the way, this is my opinion alone. No one, anyone that I represent, does not represent them. Um, First and foremost, let's talk about the fact of the Knicks. I mean, if you saw my YouTube short on this channel, I had said that they were not going to win, which I was right on, but the way they lost to the Grizzlies was impressive. Um, I'll admit that I thought it was probably going to be a 10 point loss basically. In reality, the fact that the Knicks were down by 19 and they refused to lose, I think, and the fact that they were grinding at it, they were like gritty, like they almost reminded me of the mid to early 90s Knicks with the Ewings, the Oakleys, the Starks, Masons, Anthony Mason. That I think in this situation, if if the Knicks play like this, the way they played uh, with Memphis, or how they played the Memphis Grizzlies, I can see the Knicks actually making the playoffs this year. Um, it's it. I would not be surprised. That is if they play like this. The one drawback that I do have though with the current Knicks roster, the fact that Thibodeau or does not play Cam Reddish as much. Um, for the glimpses that we saw him playing yesterday's game on the 19th of October, 2022, he showed his athleticism, his skills. I think if he was to play more, if Thibodeau was allowed to, if he played Cam Reddish a little bit more, I honestly think that you'll see him as a potential All Star in the next coming years. The fact that he didn't have much playing time in Atlanta either also was a negative impact from it. And I think he, essentially not earned, but inherited that stigma as he was traded to the Knicks. Honestly, I think the whole purpose of getting Cam Reddish, of course, was the fact that Cam Reddish and Barrett was because they wanted to lure or recruit Zion Williamson. But it looks like that's not going to happen. But if with this trade for Cam Reddish, I think he can be the potential All Star that he is. I mean, think about it this way: Randall wasn't doing so good with the Lakers. Came to the Knicks, you saw his potential, and he actually lived up to his potential. I think with Reddish coming with the Knicks now, if given the chance to play and being on the floor more, I think you'll see the potential of what his skills are and living up to it essentially. Um, Now with the aspects of the Brunson signing, it turns out right now, based on this game, the way he played, I think it was a good signing actually. Um, Granted, now I want to say with the Donovan Mitchell trade, oh, something just happened with my thing. I don't know why it glitched. Yeah, it's my laptop. I'm using a laptop's webcam at this point too, and their software, which is Windows in this case. I'm using Windows Camera. So if you'll see a glitch or whatever it may be, I blame that because I am using the Surface Pro, which I'll admit is pretty good. I'll talk about that in another video. Anyways, um, the fact that they got Brunson, I thought, okay, that was a big mistake because that's gonna deter them from getting Donovan Mitchell. Same thing with re-signing Barrett. I mean, honestly, I thought maybe they should have just traded Barrett, but it turns out they didn't. But in reality, it turns out it may or may not have helped the Knicks in the long term, basically, not giving up their draft capital and such. Because if they have the ability to have all this draft capital, one, I think they could get in a true power forward or center for that matter that's gritty and that grinds, basically someone like almost like a Dennis Rodman. I mean, you're seeing it right now. Basically, I think there's a resurgence coming back where you're seeing the power forwards and centers where you need someone absolutely physical um, to get into there. Like what's his name? The dude from um, Golden State. I forgot his name, but anyway, Draymond Green. Sorry, with Draymond Green, basically, like you'll see that. I mean, offensively, okay, but defensively, you'll see, and all the little intangibles. I think if you could get someone like that in the Knicks as well too, I think that'll lead them to the next, get them to the next level. I mean, next level meaning getting past the first round of the playoffs. As if they can get to the playoffs this year. I mean, like I said, if the Knicks play the way they did today, I think they can get into the playoffs. The real question is, can they do this for 82 straight games? That's where I don't think that's going to happen. Unfortunately, because the fact is, you're going to have injuries, and the way they played today, there's definitely bound to be injuries, to be honest. But like I said, I think the Knicks will do really well this year if they play the way they played yesterday with the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, Now the question is like, what do you do with Obi Toppin? If you have Cam Reddish, then he's playing more, then you're taking play time away from Obi Toppin. Well, you know what? Honestly, he can be a good bench player, but also too, he could be that person that you could trade off to get someone else. Honestly, I think Toppin is definitely athletic. He's definitely athletic, but is he talented enough to be an All Star? That's hard to say right now. But in reality, I think more often if he was on another team where he was the focal point, it might be a different story. Just like Donovan Mitchell was. Look, when he first came into the league, he wasn't touted as someone high. But when you coming to Utah, seeing his potential, you saw what it was. Honestly, maybe it's a possibility that you trade Topin to, I don't know, a Utah or somewhere that for that matter. I don't know, or whomever else, to get the players that you need. Essentially, in this situation, um, it's hard to determine how the Knicks will do in the next coming games. We'll have to see the next 2 or 3 weeks to see where they're at, and go forward from there. Now, granted, I don't have my Knicks paraphernalia, Knicks, or Knicks jersey, Knicks T-shirt. Actually, I outgrew my Knicks T-shirt, and my Knicks T-shirt actually was ripped up. Knicks jersey, never got one. Granted that I have all these other jerseys from all the other New York teams except for the Knicks, but that was only because the fact is like, I think the fact that they did Patrick Ewing wrong, they did him wrong, that I think since they traded him, you might be seeing the case of the Ewing curse. It might be the Ewing curse. Like, the way the Babe Ruth curse for Boston, we might have the Patrick Ewing curse for the Knicks, where we might not see him win. At least we'll definitely won't see him winning a championship finals game for however long may be. Now the question is, will we see him ever get past the first? If they don't get past the first round in the next 5 years, and if the Knicks do make those plays in the next 5 years, and they don't get past the first round, then you'll know that it's the Ewing curse right then and there. Basically, the Ewing curse exists. Now, the only way to exercise those demons is either one, Dolan goes in and straight up apologizes to him, does him right, or two, I don't know what it is, or two, we get the blessing for Patrick Ewing. But you know what? Who knows? And that's probably something I'll talk into in the next segment, or next video that I'll upload at this point. But right now, I'm just uploading this video right now for the fact of talking about the Knicks right now and the way they played and what they might do down the line with this season. You're welcome to comment. I have no qualms with anyone commenting. Whether it be positive, negative, whatever it may be. Any feedback you want to provide, great. As far as feedback about the video itself, like I said, this whole purpose of my videos, unedited videos, unfiltered videos. unrehearsed for that matter. It was just off the cuff type of thing. Basically, it's more of a thing where like this is more of me being a novice, kind of not a podcasting, but novice blogger or vlogger, whatever it may be. And sometimes people say like, hey, it's great to you have a vlogger uh, or a podcast, basically, but it's all edited and scripted out in certain cases. And I don't want to spend X amount of hours doing that. I mean, granted, it's great, but at the same time, you know what? I think you want that, if you want that authenticity of the person and such, hear from them basically at that point. Just get it from them. And that's pretty much it. I'm at my 10-minute 30 mark, 10-minute 30-second mark. So, yeah, that's it. Until next time.